Prime Minister Lawrence Wong is urging ASEAN to strengthen partnerships with other countries amid a changing geopolitical landscape. Now, he says more needs to be done to chart a more ambitious agenda for the bloc ahead. That's even with ASEAN making progress in several agreements to boost trade within the region and with other partners. Metteo reports from the ASEAN Summit.
At the Kuala Lumpur Convention Centre, Singapore Prime Minister Lawrence Wong has met with several ASEAN leaders. On the first day of the summit, Mr. Wong spoke about how the bloc can tackle rising geopolitical tensions and a changing world order. More so than ever, Mr. Wong says ASEAN must work even closer together and stay united. This way, ASEAN will continue to chart its own destiny. But for the region to remain relevant in a changing geopolitical landscape, Mr. Wong says it must show that it is a valuable partner. One way to do so, he says, is by working more closely with the existing partners. In Asia, countries like China, Japan and Korea are not part of ASEAN but are keen to work together with the bloc. And outside East Asia, there are partners in the EU, Australia and New Zealand who are also keen to do more with ASEAN. Mr. Wong says that's especially in growing sectors like the digital and green economy. Mr. Wong also urged ASEAN to look at new partnerships, even if some are not ready to be formal partners yet. There could also be new groupings formed with ASEAN, such as those potentially with the Gulf Cooperation Council members like Oman and Saudi Arabia. At the first ASEAN GCC summit about 2 years ago, officials talked about a framework to work closer together in the next few years. Mr. Wong adds that ASEAN platforms remain crucial in helping to encourage dialogue and prevent conflict. At a retreat session, PM Wong addressed similar issues with a focus on US tariffs. Mr. Wong says trade needs to be more seamless among member states. He says ASEAN should aim to remove both non-tariffs and tariffs barriers within the bloc. He also notes that 24 economic agreements are still pending implementation. He also flagged the ASEAN power grid as a priority, but said a framework is still needed, such as for the laying of subsea cables. Turning to Myanmar, Mr. Wong said Singapore is ready to boost ASEAN's humanitarian efforts. He also supports calls for an extended ceasefire, which could be a possible step toward a long-term political solution. During these challenging times, Prime Minister Wong commended Malaysia for its steady leadership as ASEAN chair. Under Malaysia's guidance, Mr. Wong said that ASEAN is deepening ties both within the region and with external partners. That includes upgrades to boost regional trade and another one with China. Still, Mr. Wong says that much more remains to be done and ASEAN needs to be more ambitious in its agenda in the years ahead. Metteo, CNA, Kuala Lumpur.
PM Wong also described Malaysia as an energetic and effective ASEAN chair during talks with Mr. Anwar on the sidelines of the summit. Mr. Wong says Singapore will continue to work closely with Malaysia to advance ASEAN integration efforts. Both leaders also took stock of various bilateral issues. Mr. Anwar will be in Singapore later this week to deliver a special address at the Shangri-La Dialogue. PM Wong met Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto as well to discuss global and regional developments and the importance of a strong and united ASEAN amid turbulent times. Both sides are also aiming for closer bilateral cooperation. Mr. Wong adds that the long-standing relationship between both countries has served as an anchor of stability against geopolitical headwinds. In his meeting with Crown Prince of Kuwait, Sabah Al Khalid Al Sabah, PM Wong thanked Kuwait for providing religious education scholarships to Singaporeans. He also hopes to foster stronger people-to-people ties and economic cooperation with Kuwait. Both countries mark 40 years of diplomatic relations this year. Southeast Asian leaders in Malaysia's capital have signed a landmark declaration. The ASEAN Community Vision 2045 sets the course of action for the next 2 decades, with immediate challenges of more than usual uncertainty in global trade, accompanied by tensions in geopolitics. Malaysia's Prime Minister describes the new vision as a shared blueprint, members restating their commitment to the bloc's charter. Concerns over Washington's tariffs also looming large. Malaysia's leader saying he has written to the US president to request an ASEAN-US summit that will address the tricky issue of tariffs. On matters within the region, Mr. Anwar earlier hailed significant steps taken to engage warring sides in Myanmar. He adds that Malaysia will continue speaking separately to the military government and armed opposition groups to try to encourage all sides to engage directly with each other.